The first active duty troops have now arrived at the southern border, and Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, says military planes will deport every migrant every day.
Is that going to be a constant commitment from the U.S. military every single day to take deportees out?
Yes.
So is this what we will see every single day, ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Yes. But you're going to see the numbers steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now it's concentrating public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base, as President Trump's promised, but as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
Raids are now underway, and the far-left resistance appears to be cracking. At least 7 Democrat-led cities remain defiant, including Boston, but Massachusetts governor is beginning to change her tune.
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. Every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our state.
I wouldn't describe them as raids. It seems to be is what we expected and what I support, which is the apprehension of criminals in our communities.
What a change in tune. Ms. Lisa Booth, I come to you. You know, there's a lot of blue state Democrats who said they're not going to help Donald Trump. The mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, is another one of those individuals. Do you think these elected officials who are clearly obstructing ICE should face consequences, including jail time?
I do. I think they should. I mean, they're breaking the law and they're putting their citizens at risk. I mean, you look at some of these people that they're protecting. I mean, one day alone, they got over 530 illegal immigrants caught. 373 were criminals. You look at rapists, attempted murderers in the midst, pedophiles in the mix as well that were all caught up in this one-day roundup by the new Trump administration. I loved the clip when you had the Haitian gang member with 18 convictions in recent years, and he said, "I'm not going back to Haiti, F Trump, Biden forever," which kind of tells us everything. But beyond that, exactly. You had Tom Homan, the border czar, on the Will Cain show, and he was asked about it, and he goes, well, he's wrong, he's going back to Haiti. But so, you know, very forceful message there. But what Congress needs to do when they look at this reconciliation package coming up and this budget matter, we have to get funding for the Trump administration to do their job. It's going to cost money to do these mass deportations. You've got 55% of all 55% of Americans want to deport all legal immigrants, according to the New York Times. The American people are behind Trump. This was one of the top issues. Yeah. Congress has got to get it done, but Trump needs the funding. The Trump administration needs the funding to get it done. And
there's some polling that shows over 60% of
Well, there are different questions, but that was for, I think, criminals, and then the 55% was for all illegal aliens. Yeah, same poll, but different questions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Molly, you are from, no, you're not from Massachusetts, but you live there.
Yeah.
What are people feeling about the government's sentiment about deporting migrants?
Yeah, it's been a pretty incredible week in Massachusetts, and Bill Maloogian and Jeremy Kopis, they were up there doing this incredible ride along with ICE, in which the video with the Haitian man came through that incredible storytelling that they did. But over the course of even around 6 months, there have been more than 24 sex offenders captured by ICE as they've been working all of this time. Wow. So there is a concern in these communities in Massachusetts, broadly across the nation, about what criminals being in the community that shouldn't be here at all. But it's been fascinating to watch the Massachusetts governor change her tune to a certain extent, most glaringly on that particular point where she said the state police would not cooperate back in November, and then just the other day saying cooperation by my administration through the state police, by others in local law enforcement, will continue with our federal authorities. State police will cooperate. That's always been the case. Yeah. So it's been interesting to see a change in tune. It is notable that Massachusetts does not shy away from electing Republican governors from time to time. So there may be perhaps a little bit of that also in the Democratic minds across the state, the blue state, that this is perhaps what people are looking for, and they want to see that shift politically as well.
Maybe it's time to do that again.
Brian, you know, there's a lot of conversation that Democrats usually say, oh, well, if you deport all these migrants, who's going to be able to do this particular job and this particular job? How does this impact the economy?
Well, guess what? I don't care what the job is. I'd like it that a murderer or a rapist not do the job. Yeah. How about that? Because that's what Tom Homan is saying. Yes. He's saying we're going after these guys. Do you want a murderer to do your lawn care or to work at the restaurant or whatever it is? I don't. So the governor of Massachusetts is kind of sitting there thinking, Well, if I oppose apprehending murderers and rapists, I wonder if I'm going to get a challenge in the next election. And the answer is yes, because somebody's going to speak common sense and say, that's what I'm going to do. But they do need to fund this because you have cities that are fighting against it. And the Trump administration is going to have to do the job with ICE, with Tom Homan, and not expect local law enforcement in some cases to help, not because they don't want to probably, but because they're in a city where the city council won't let them.
That's the
tragedy of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking lawn care with a side of murder.
Who wants that?
That's a good point.
We'll find somebody else to do that job. There's an American who can do that job and not murder you.
I'm Steve Doocy. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.